Yeah.
On my phone was Peyton Manning. He said, Jeff, I feel your pain. Will you join me in exorcising the curse of Bobby Lane? Just like that, we started winning. Just like that, we were playoff bound. Just like that, way up in heaven, Bobby Lane turned around. Say goodbye, oh, that song. Say goodbye, oh, that pain.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Meek Robinson.
All right, Lions win, baby, taking down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Final score 24-9. What an uneventful night for Jared Goff. However, still pitched a pretty good game. Jahmyr Gibbs had one of the best nights of his career, although it just kind of popped out of nowhere. 78 here, 20-30 there. Before you know it, Jahmyr Gibbs has a whole lot of yards and a TD or two, and the Lions are winning, taking down the Bucs, man. What a defensive stand tonight. Calvin Shepard earned every ounce of his paycheck. This was a game that I said last week Saturday morning on the Cannon Fire podcast. Two things. Well, a lot of things I said, but a couple of things that really stuck out to me was, number one, Calvin Shepard is going to have to call the best defense he's ever called, given the fact that our secondary was as depleted as it was and is. And even after tonight, losing a couple of more guys, Rock Ya-Sin goes down, Mollett went down, so not good to see more injuries, but Calvin Shepard definitely stood up tonight, stood on business, took care of business, and was able to come home with the win at Ford Field. Detroit Lions extend their win streak, never losing 2 in a row. It's now going back more than 40 games. I don't know of another team that's been able to do that, but I do know that Dan Campbell, as Troy Aikman liked to say, well, he was just a backup tight end in Dallas. So was it unexpected that Dan Campbell was going to be able to do these things? You know, Troy Aikman, maybe he heard me. I said that he was behaving tonight. He wasn't running his mouth. He wasn't being the typical Troy Aikman douchebag. But, of course, he had to get one dig in at the very end to call Dan Campbell a backup. Well, who's backing up now into Dallas and taking care of business against Dallas? Well, that's Dan Campbell. And I expect nothing less of Dan Campbell for the foreseeable future in the NFC North and throughout the league. It's still Super Bowl or bust this season, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still in control of our own destiny. I believe the Lions are going to get it done. How fitting is it going to be when we go back to Santa Clara in February to go play in the Super Bowl, the place that we lost, a game that we shouldn't have lost in the NFC Championship. We're going to get it back. And we're going to get it back in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl this time. I'm going to get into some stats tonight. We're going to have some conversations about what we witnessed, the good, the bad, the ugly. A lot of good on the defensive side of the ball, a little bit ugly on the offensive side of the ball. Remember, if you want to ask questions tonight, if there's things that you would like to talk about, you can put those in caps so that I can see it. Feel free at any moment. You can drop them in. I am going to open up phone lines. Give me about 15 minutes or so. We're going to run through it, and then we're going to get into it and let you guys talk it out, battle it out. This is your show. I'm just here, pressing record and go. So it's for you guys to call in and tell us how you felt about the game. It's not for me. If you didn't see one of the new intros tonight, I got to play it again because one of my game balls is going to go to this gentleman who wanted to get 2 interceptions tonight, and he didn't. But, man, did he play well. And we had an opportunity, or Eric had an opportunity to meet him yesterday, sat in his truck, and gave us a snippet for the Rise and Grind morning show, which will be on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So here you go. Big shout out to this dude. Love everything he's about. I hope that his agent, Trey, is able to get him locked up in Detroit for a long time.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Amik Robinson.
In the world, he said. In the world. Well, we're not quite there yet. But we do have some big hopes and dreams for the Rise of Grind Morning Show and the rest of the Rockdown Detroit Lions family. Again, a big heartfelt thank you to all of you, all of the new subscribers, all of the old subscribers, the OGs, the members, the moderators, everybody that makes this go each and every week and each and every day. Obviously to Eric, the co-host in the morning and the Rise of Grind Morning Show. I can't thank you enough, man. It's been a historic week for Rockdown Detroit Lions over the last week or so, week 6, 5 days, something like that. Over 2,000 almost 2,000 new subscribers now. Just in the last week, you guys have been amazing. We are about to hit 12,000. If you haven't subscribed, push it over the edge tonight. I think we only need about 50 or 60 more. Help us get there. And if you're going to join live streams and post-game shows in the future, they will be subscriber mode only, simply because we have a lot of issues with all of these bots, and we're trying to get rid of the bots. So if you'd like to take advantage of jumping in with your Lions fans, subscribe to the channel. It's not just a ploy to earn your button press. It's because that's just how a lot of the shows are going to be moving forward. The subscribers, the moderators, and the members of this channel deserve to have an uninhibited opportunity to enjoy their fans and enjoy the chat. And it's kind of tough to do when you got a bunch of idiot bots in there. So right now we are pushing, where are we at? 1183. So just 27 more. It's been a big day today. Big day today again. Narrative was strong tonight. We didn't know what was going to happen going into this game. It was an interesting week. Obviously, the Brian Branch hit piece, the collusion of Refgate. We had no idea what was going to happen in tonight's game with the refs. It did not get off to a great start. But I would say, by and large, I think they got a lot of things right tonight. For once, it wasn't a perfect game, but it wasn't a game that I think that we're going to go back and say, you know what, they tried to screw us. I don't think they did. I think the refs did a good job tonight. Let me back these ads off, too. I think the refs did a good job tonight. Yeah, there's some calls that could have come back, or some calls that should have been made. There were some holding calls that didn't get called, as usual. But by and large, again, I really have to say hats off to the refs tonight. I think they did a good job. And I'm happy about that. I did not want to go into another week of just garbage talk, right? And having to spend our time not talking about the positive things that our team did. Hats off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. They came in and tried to play, a great game. Their defense is incredible. Obviously, hats off to Mike Evans trying to give it a go. He got injured tonight again, and you don't like to see that, man. He is one of the best to ever play the game. So my hats off to you guys, and of course the Cannon Fire podcast guys. Great individuals. So appreciate all of you. And if we have any Tampa Bay Bucks in tonight, appreciate you guys being in. And just remember, hey, a game's a game. And tonight we were the better team. There's no ill will between us and you. I promise you that. It was a good game. I know that maybe some calls didn't go your way tonight, but I think if you go back and watch the film, you'll see the calls were right. Quick box score. We're just going to run right through it real quick. Oh, man. Jared Goff did not have his best night, but again, if he threw over 30 passes tonight, that was not the game that we wanted to play. And Jared was 20 of 29 tonight, 241 yards, 8.3, so right on target with his average. 1 TD, 1 interception. The dumbest interception I think I've probably seen him throw, outside of the first interception he threw this year, which he just kind of lofted up into the air. But he took 4 sacks tonight. The offensive line did not look like they were together at all. That Bucs defense was swarming. They were finding gaps. They were exposing the cracks, and they got to Jared Goff, and they gave him way too much pressure tonight. I can't wait to dig in to see what the pressure stats look like, but I think that Jared Goff probably faced the most pressure he has ever faced this season. Might even have been in the last couple of seasons. Todd Bowles and that defense, man, they did an excellent job at dialing up the pressure. Confusing, through a lot of the different chaos that they cause, but they disguised a lot, and they came with all of it. Jared Goff still pitched a 91.3 rating overall. Your star of tonight's game for the Detroit Lions obviously was Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries, 136 yards, 8 yards a clip average, 2 TDs, and a 78 long. And there's some other stats we'll get to with Lions PR here with some historic stats for Jahmyr Gibbs tonight and Barry Sanders. David Montgomery was not involved in the game plan at all. This was kind of weird not to see him involved. And those are some of the questions that I have for John Morton. Like, what is going on here? Why are we not getting David Montgomery involved in the game plan? I just don't understand it. It seems like when he's in, the guy's electric. He can make things happen. He fights hard. He's really good with the ball in his hand when he's out in space or in the screen game. Just not utilized a whole lot tonight. I'm a bit surprised because there's a lot of holes open over that Tampa defense. When they're rushing like that, there's holes everywhere. That screen game should work just fine. And when we did utilize it, it seems like we did pretty well, if it was planned well anyway. If any of you guys see the Detroit Lions presser going, let me know. I'll try to switch over. Give me 1 second, actually, so I can try to get that lined up. I'm sure it's probably going to be on the national channel tonight. I don't know. Let me know where you see it. I'll try to find it. It seems like after all these Monday, Sunday night games, it's definitely not on YouTube right away. All right, continuing on with our box score. Jared Goff won 2 runs for 7 yards. Didn't want to see him running a whole lot tonight, but I did want to see him running some of those naked boots, some of the rollouts, stretching the defense a little bit. Shortening that side of the field. And we did that a little bit tonight. Not enough, not as much as I would have liked. I think that Jared Goff was kind of stuck into his spot. And for whatever reason, John Morton didn't have him roll out. I don't know why you would just leave him in the middle of the offense, just getting pounded, right? Taking pressure from all angles instead of getting him out a little bit, utilizing his legs. He doesn't need to run. He doesn't need to be Lamar Jackson. He just needs to open up that side of the defense. For your passing of the night, for your receiving of the night, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 catches on 10 targets. Not a great night for him. Still 86 yards, 1 TD, quietly 86 yards for 1 TD. Obviously opening up the game with a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 for 82. Huge night for Jahmyr Gibbs. Over 200 and 220-ish yards all-purpose on the night. No touchdowns through the air, but he was averaging 27.3 yards on a reception, 3 for 3 on targets. Brock Wright came alive tonight, 3 of 23 on 3 targets. David Montgomery was 2 of 18 on 3 targets. Khalif Raymond was 3 for 3, 17 yards. Sam Laporta was 3 for 3 for 15 yards. Jamison Williams blanked again. Isaac Tislau, they tried to go to early. I thought that was a piss-poor call. 0 for 0 on 1 target. My concern for the night, now that we're kind of done with this part, Jamison Williams. What is going on? Is John Morton just not like the dude? Or is he not finding a way to get him involved in this offense? Was he not involved in the game plan like David Montgomery? What is going on with J-Mo? Why is he not involved in this offense? It's going to be a big tape dive week on J-Mo this week because something's got to break here. Like, you can't pay a guy $25 million a year or $27 million a year and he not produce anything, right? You don't see that with Higgins and Chase. You don't see that with 2 big-time receivers on any team. Both of those guys produce. So what is going on with J-Mo? Ever since that one game, and I forget what game it was, might have been the Ravens, where he was just kind of all over the field, dropping balls. Apparently someone was up till 4 a.m. We don't know who that person is yet. It was St. Brown's friend. Some people have speculated that it might have been J-Mo. Since that game, J-Mo has done nothing. He has not been involved, and that's a bit concerning because if Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down or he's having an off game, that is where your number 2 is supposed to step up. Thankfully, St. Brown is having a decent night tonight, not his best night. 6 of 10, 60% is not what St. Brown's all about. He's an 80%er or better. J-Mo, man, he's missing in action right now. He's on the milk carton for me. We got to find him. We've got to get him back involved in this offense, and I'm going to put part of that blame on John Morton until we hear differently. Game ball for the offense, like I said, is going to go to Jahmyr Gibbs for me. On the defensive side of the ball. Wow. Like, huge game for these guys tonight. Did they not play completely out of their mind? You have 6 different DBs brought into this roster over the last 2 weeks. The majority of them were brought up tonight. Obviously, Kendall Fuller was the only one that was not, and they all played great. Every single one of them were making plays. Yeah, you had your occasional, ball that was downfield, your occasional ball for a first down, 228 yards by Baker Mayfield, but he put the ball up 50 times. 50. He only completed 28 of them, so almost 50%, right around 55, 54% on the night. Any time that you throw the ball up 50 times and you're expecting your DBs that have only been with this team for a couple of days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, and all of your number ones are out, all of them, Branch, Reed, I don't care, all of them, Terry and Arnold, they're all gone. Kirby Joseph, they're all out. These guys stood on business, on top of business, on top of business tonight, and they did an excellent job. Eric Hallett, leading tackler, or tied for the leading tackles with Jack Campbell, both had 8 apiece. Jack Campbell ended up with a sack and 2 TFLs, 1 pass defense, and 1 quarterback hit. Huge game for Jack, and yes, that's now 30 push-ups tonight, because I keep saying the C word after I say Jack. If you don't know, you'll find out soon enough what I mean. Big game for Jack. Arthur Maulette, this dude played out of his mind tonight. Absolutely good game. Can't wait to go back and watch the tape on him. Pass defense tonight at the right time. 5 tackles on the game. Derek Barnes all over the field tonight. Great game by him too. 1 sack, 1 TFL, 1 pass defense, 1 quarterback hit. These are the stat lines that we love to see. As a matter of fact, let me throw it up on the screen because I think it'll make you appreciate just a little bit more how well this defense played tonight. Let me get it up here. One sec. While I'm doing this, tonight's postgame show is brought to you guys by YOOPERLITES. If you guys have not figured out what YOOPERLITES is and you are a Rockhound, you like to go out and check out rocks, look for agates, whatever. If you live around the lake shore or anywhere around the country, check out YOOPERLITES.com. Get everything that you guys need to go rockhounding all year round. YOOPERLITES.com. Check them out right after the show. It's great stuff, man. If you don't know what a YOOPERLITE is, it's fun stuff. The rocks that glow. And it's not just some gimmick. It's legit. It's absolutely legit. People ask me that all the time. Oh, we got bad graphics tonight. My bad. We don't have an injury report right now. We have stats. It's been a bad week for me. It's been a really bad week. So my apology. Matter of fact, we got to scrap this whole side. We need to go like this. We need the lions up. There we go. Doing this because you guys are going to appreciate this from your team tonight. All right, these Detroit Lions, man, just look at these stat lines. Oops. Look at these stat lines. We're working down on Derek Barnes right here. Oh, I just want to go straight across. Not going to let me go straight across. I mean, he's got a number in every single category minus a TD. He didn't get a TD tonight. Alex Anzalone, 4 tackles, 3 solo. He didn't get any sacks, TFLs, passes defensed. Rocky Sin Incredible game from him tonight. 4 tackles, 2 solo, 2 passes defensed. He was so physical tonight, bodying up anybody that came his way. Rocky Sin, I have so much respect for this guy now after watching. I mean, I know he's a little bit grabby. I know that he gets, PIs or holding here or there, but he makes so many good plays tonight. Again, I can't wait to go through the film, but Amik Robertson, man, the leader of the DB room tonight. I know he didn't get his interceptions, but he got the punch out. He got the pass defense, right? He caused the fumble. He was he was playing everywhere and anywhere he was needed tonight. He was the lifeblood of this defense tonight in the back end. Thomas Harper had a good game, three tackles, 2 solo, pass defense. I mean, just continue to look at all of these stat lines just popping, right? Thomas Harper, Tyrus Wheat, 3 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 TFL, quarterback hit. Lopez, decent night, kind of quiet. Nick Whiteside played out of his mind when he needed to. 3 passes defense tonight. Trevor Nowaski, decent night, kind of quiet. Aiden Hutchinson, decent night. Definitely had his matchups. He didn't win all of them, but good night. 1 pass defense down the night, 1 quarterback hit. Lauren Strickland, Grant Stewart. I mean, overall, let's get to the bottom. 63 tackles by your defense tonight, 37 solo. 4 sacks, 4 TFLs, 12 passes defensed is an insane number on 8 quarterback hits. These Detroit Lions tonight played incredibly well on the defensive side of the football. Jake Bates, what's going on, dude? You almost missed 2 field goals tonight. Lucky got 1 bounced in. Jake is not getting enough opportunities, I guess, because he's looking a little bit rusty. Almost like he doesn't expect to kick anymore. Jack Fox, good game by him tonight too. Put up a ton of yards. Looks like it's not going to go all the way down. 256 yards of punting tonight by Jack Fox. 256, 51.2 average on the night. So good stuff. Overall, my biggest concern again was the offense. My defensive player of the game tonight is a hard one. It's a hard one. I don't really know who to give it to. I don't know if I give it to Arthur Maulette, the way that he played. Rocky Sin, I mean, he had an incredible game. I think Amik Robertson got everything started tonight with that punch out. Tyrus Wheat, I mean, he came on late. El-Qadim Muhammad, why is he not on this sheet? There he is. Half a sack for AQM. I forgot about AQM. Ali McNeil. Even though he didn't bust open the stat sheet, he was everywhere tonight. All these guys were everywhere. I don't get it. Why can't we play this way all the time? It's almost like we need to have our backs up against the wall before we start to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this was a different type of a night tonight. Now, on the other side of the ball, they had a really good night on the defense too, and I'll get into that in just a minute. If I'm going to go player of the game, I got to roll with my guy Meek tonight, and it's because of the way that he started. It wasn't the way that he finished, but it was the way that he started, who he was going up against, whether it was Evans or Abuka, it didn't matter. Amik played an incredibly good game tonight, but so did Rocky Sin. I mean, I guess, you know what? I'm not going to give it to Amik. I'm going to give it to Kelvin Shepard. Kelvin Shepard's getting my game ball tonight. He absolutely deserves it. And then my second game ball is going to go to the entire defensive secondary. Every single one of those guys deserves one. For the way that they stepped up, only being with this team for a couple of weeks, every single one of those guys deserves a ball tonight. And it was a different kind of a game that I've seen this defense play in a long time. And again, I can't wait to get into the film because this is really going to be a fun one to go through and break down. When you look at the other side, man, Tampa Bay receiving, we let their tight end beat us up a little bit. Cade Otton had 7 receptions for 65 yards, but he was held scoreless. Tez Johnson, 7th round rookie, shouldn't be able to do these things against us, but 4 for 58 and a touchdown. Emeka Ibuka, I mean, this guy was coming in half injured, 4 of 58, no touchdowns. Sterling Shepard, 7 of 25, no touchdowns. Ryan Miller, 1 of 14, no touchdowns. Rashad White, I mean, the list goes on. And Mike Evans held to 0 receptions, 0 yards on 4 targets. And that was largely because Amik Robertson held up early against him. All right, we got Dan Campbell at the podium, and I'm going to get this dialed up here in just 1 second. I didn't see, I probably missed it, but I didn't see you guys yelling at me. My bad. Get this thing loaded up here. What a good game, man. We really needed this, especially going into the bye week. These guys are going to feel great. I mean, they're going to be hurting, but they're going to feel great going into the bye with a win, a little bit less pressure. All right, playoff seeding on the line, going up against the Bucs. It's a big, big, big time win. All right, I think I got this thing dialed up, ready to go. All right, here we roll.
Keep making the plays, these big plays that they're making, and optimistic about getting these turnovers. It's going to bode well.
Head coach at the podium now.
All right, here we go.
All right, man, good to get a win, get back in the win column. Guys responded, which knew they would, and man, defense played lights out. I give a lot of credit to Kelvin Shepard, the plan to go in against these guys, knowing what we were getting ready to face. And, I mean, those DBs, man, Millette and Howlett and Harper and Whiteside and Amik and Rock, Strickland had to come in and play a little bit. And Flowers,
You heard him, right? I played tonight.
thought those guys, Jim O'Neill, Deshae Townsend had those guys ready to go, and I think they competed, they challenged, and man, our front came alive. The backers played really big for us, those three in the middle, and so it was just an outstanding defensive performance. Offensively, there's things that certainly we know can be done better, and we'll need to do better, but at the end of the day, when we needed points, we found points, and we'll clean up the rest, but it's a good team win. I was hoping we were going to get Leaf going in special teams. This guy, he hangs him up there a little bit. We just couldn't buy enough time to get him, had to settle for some fair catches. But anyway, listen, it's good to get back in the win column. That's a good team. All right, they're going to be in it. It looks like they are every year, and so that's a good win.
Yeah, you talk about the next man up. But is this a great example of that today with all those guys in the second with Whiteside?
By the way, we'll see if it gets asked, but I did send a message to a media member to see if they would ask what Dan Campbell was actually trying to challenge, because I'm just curious. I'm curious if what they were saying during the game is exactly what Dan was challenging, because I can't imagine that Dan, with that first challenge, that he would have challenged that. So we'll pay attention. We'll see if it gets asked, but that was what I wanted to know. Like, what was Dan actually challenging?
Making plays, 3 passes defended, you got interceptions from Millette and Meek. Just is that a great example when you look at it, you show film to the team of next man up and get performance like that?
Yeah, it is, and that's what's expected here. And I've said it before. Listen, you get in there, you don't have to be perfect. You challenge and you compete, and we will help you, and the guys around you will help you, and we'll play with 3 units. But I love the fact the game did not feel too big for some of those guys. You know, it's Harper's first start, really Hallett's first start, you know, and I thought it wasn't too big for them. You know, they got in there and competed, and that's great. That's a great sign. You know, we did some things. We put Meek on an island a little bit, and I thought he really answered the bell. You know, we put our linebackers on the island a little bit, answered the bell. But, you know, I was proud of all those guys. I mean, it was really good, really good.
Dan, you said it's good to get back in the win column. You haven't lost 2 straight games in 3 years, especially when you bounce back. It seems like you bounce back after high-profile losses. What do you attribute to not having a losing streak in 3 years, and especially bouncing back from big losses?
Well, I hate when you guys ask that because it's like like the kiss of death is coming. Yeah. Listen, we got a special group. We got a special group of coaches and players, and I just think they're competitive. They want to win. They're able to really focus on what needs to be fixed, what cost us the loss the week before, and simply keep it in that department, man. Keep it in that compartment. Don't make more of it than needs be. Don't lose confidence. Just fix it. And I think that's where our guys are really special, man. We just go to work. We fix it. They've always been that way. And then the lights come on, man, and guys show up. You know, St. Brown showed up. Josh showed up. That defense showed up. Hutch, Mac. It's great to get Mac back. Wow. You know, Jack Campbell. I mean, you know, our guys show up. So it's good to win.
In the game, you didn't take advantage of every opportunity on offense. How big was it to have Gibbs as such a difference maker?
It's huge. And, you know, you felt like this was coming. You know, you felt like that this has been building, and, you know, as he gets in better shape and starts getting his feet under him, you know, starts getting a feel of it, starts breaking some tackles, you just feel like every week it's gotten closer and closer. And tonight was the night where he busted one of these out of there, and there'll be no looking back. I mean, I think he's just going to continue to do this. So our O-line did a good job, you know, in areas of getting into the second level. Certainly we got to continue to improve there, but man, that's all you got to do. If you can get him to the second level, he'll do the rest. You know, and we're fortunate because our O-line can open some holes in, and we have receivers that block. So the rest is up to him one-on-one with the safety.
Dan, you said you knew your guys would respond. How could you know that? We don't even know their name, as most people. Most fans don't even know who they are. Why were you so confident you had the right guys to throw in there?
Well, when I'm saying that, I'm talking about our team. They're part of it.
Think about the defensive backs in the secondary.
Yeah, well, you're talking about though bouncing back is that what you were talking about?
No, you said you knew your team, these guys would respond, and I thought you were talking about the secondary, but the whole team as well.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the whole team. But I mean, as far as everything goes back into everything is not about the DBs, you know. It's about the linebackers, and it's about the DNs and the D tackles and the quarterback and the O-line and the punt returner so that's what I meant. I knew our guys would bounce back and be ready and have urgency.
You tend to have a really good feel of how games go, whether it's going to be a shootout or anything like that. In any of your imaginations going into this week, did you expect the defense to hold Tampa, really good offense, to 9 points?
No. I felt like we would play. I knew we were going to challenge more. We were going to do more than what we did last week. I did feel good about that. But that's a good quarterback over there. They've been playing good football. I knew Evans was coming back. And so I had confidence. Now, I didn't think 9 points. I mean, 9 points now, I don't know where that ranks for all the games in this week. That's probably number one. I mean, or close to it. I don't know. So it's just a great job. But I knew we'd hold our own. But it's a testament of what they did, you know. Just really great job.
Not just the DBs, and it's
I'll come to you.
if it's everybody, just Calvin Shepard, the questions again, going back, you guys have answered so many through now the first 7 games, but the job that he did, and not necessarily just shielding those guys in the back end, but to create the scheme that he did, can you speak to the pride that you have in lining up with that guy on the sidelines?
Yeah, listen, I just think Shep has just gotten better and better and better. You know, he's, I think he just, you know, he's gotten more and more comfortable as he's gone. You know, I feel like he really is, he's got a real good feel of our personnel, what the opponent's trying to do, understands how to put a plan together. The staff he's got with him is a really good staff. Those are good coaches too, man. And all those guys work really well together. But he's the leader over there, and he understands how to communicate. He understands how to really give them the picture of what we're looking at. And so I'm very proud of him, but I'm not shocked either. Like this is what I expected out of Kelvin Shepherd, man. This doesn't surprise me. So it's a really good job.
Last two, Eric and then Sean. The past couple seasons, you put an emphasis kind of on like getting off to a start to the season. How do you balance that now going into a bye week, like unplugging a little bit, but also keeping that momentum? Which how have you learned, like as a coach, to carry that momentum coming off the bye? How you guys start?
Man, just focus on the moment you're in. Like, hey, man, you got this. We're gonna clean it up, and you're about to get 5 days off. You know, so give us all you got. Cut it loose, which our guys do every game, but. I just think it's like, hey, man, you know, you're not saving anything, not that they do, but it's that little extra, like, you know what's on the horizon, and it's a little bit of R&R, you know, clear the mind, let the body heal a little bit, and get right for now the last push, man. The big push will be here. You know, we get the division opponents. We got 10 till we hit the playoffs, and it's on. So it's good. Feels good to get to 5-2. You know, I'm pleased with the team. Are there things to clean up? Yeah, there is. Good news is we're going to get a lot of players back. You're going to start to see players start coming back over the next month, and so that's encouraging. You know, so while we're only getting better and better, we're going to start getting some of our players back too.
Speaking of getting players back, Dan, you talked about how the front came alive. Can you speak to the presence of McNeil, just the way he pushes the pocket from the middle, which seems like the kind of the most effective way?
Makes a huge difference, and really we felt like if we could, you know, you push it. Anybody would tell you that with a quarterback, man. If you can push it in the middle, you know, most quarterbacks, that's very, it's disruptive, right? But you know, Baker's not 6'6", and so if you can push it a little bit, you know, he'll just maneuver some and then find a crease, or he runs and then keeps his eyes downfield. And so we just thought that was big. And having Mac, you could feel his presence early. You know, he's not even in great football shape yet. He was ready to play in this game for the snaps that he did, but you could just feel what he looked like in practice is what he looked like here in this game. Just his ability to get an edge, push the pocket, man. I just thought he was a force in there. And guys, great to have him back, man. He makes guys around him better, and I just thought those guys played off each other, and it's only going to help Hutch. That gives him a little bit more of a wingman too with Muhammad and those guys. So it's just good to have him back.
Do you have an update on Rocky Scene?
He's good. It was just cramps.
Thanks, guys. Locker room's open, obviously. We'll have Jared and Amik in here.
Guys, your prior success has put you at the
Sorry, froze out there for a minute. Man, it's kind of weird. Dan just checks out. Like, I haven't seen that happen before. Like, he answered the minimum number of questions. I'm out. See ya. He doesn't even want to talk about it. He's just gone. I don't know what the minimum number is, but what was that, 5 minutes? That was like 5 minutes, right? Let's see. He started at about 14 minutes in, and he was out by 3:30. So yeah, a little over 11 and a half minutes there, something like that. But anyway, good stuff by Dan. Not a whole lot by Dan. Like Dan was saying, man, he's super impressed by the way that all the guys that came into this team played. And I'm not sure what that first question was. It seemed kind of a weird question. And I think he answered it as best as he could. Like, he expected this team to bounce back. He knew that we were going to come in pissed off. He knew that these guys were going to go in and challenge, like he said, and do all the things that needed to get done that they left on the field last week against Kansas City. Whether you want to believe it or not, the Lions didn't make enough plays last week against Kansas City. Yeah, were the refs a problem? Absolutely. They were a big problem. But there's a couple of things that Lions fans need to understand, right? Myself included. And this Lions team already understands is, one, we don't use injuries as excuses. And two, we're not going to use refs as excuses. We may throw the facts out there, which this channel does. We'll talk about it to dispel, all of the inaccuracies and untruths, if you will. But we're not going to use it as an excuse. The Lions just needed to play better. They needed to play better defense. If they would have played this defense tonight, last week, we win that game. But they didn't. They didn't show up when they needed to. But tonight they did. So big win. What I'd like to do is I'm going to open up the phone lines here. Make sure everything's turned on. Looks like we have a pretty good group in. Just to give you kind of a few rules here. Not many. Everyone has their First Amendment rights, obviously. We just don't racially profile or sexual slander anybody. Just use the golden rule, man. Just treat others like you want to be treated. We try not to use a whole lot of, F-bombs. We do have sponsors and things and the Believe Network to worry about. So I don't want to lose those. So if you get booted, that's because of you. It's not because of us. We just want to keep the things that we have so that we can continue doing the things that we do. This channel is for you. Let's keep it that way. So let's get pumping with some phone calls here. Let's see who wants to call. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. There you go. There's the phone number, 313 podcast. Let me make sure that's actually turned on. I thought I turned it on. I think we're good. So it's 313-768-2273, I believe is the number. And again, it's free reign. Whatever you want to talk about, what you liked about tonight, what you didn't like about tonight, what do you want the Lions to do better, how you feel they played. I don't care. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, feel free. As long as it has something to do with the game, right? And if I get any craziness, I'm just going to hang up. I don't know why I'm not hearing that. So, caller, it's not coming through. Hold on, caller. You're going to have to call back in 1 sec because it's not coming through. That's really odd. 1 sec, caller. Oh, I heard it there. That's really interesting. All right, caller, I missed your call. Feel free to call back. We'll just bring you in and we'll just see if we can hear you. I don't know why. There it goes. All right, now I got you, caller. Who do I got on the line?
How you guys doing today? It's Rob Is.
Hey, doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. It was a good game.
Big game, man. Big win. Big win.
Big win. Happy to see Lee McNeil back in the lineup. He was a wrecking ball tonight. After the first few plays, they figured out they had to double team him basically on every single snap, which left Aiden one-on-one and Tyreek one-on-one and Roy Lopez and DJ Reader. I noticed we were playing with some 3 DTs in there with Aiden Hutchinson playing the wing. That was interesting to see.
Wait, say that last part again. Say that last part again. I think I missed that.
I said I noticed they were playing with 3 DTs in there with Aiden Hutchinson playing on the wing.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting to see. I like the young DBs stepping up and contributing in quite a very impactful way. Mullet had a great play there on that interception on Otten.
Yeah, man.
I do have a little bit of I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was really good to see that these young guys show up. I mean, not only are they young, but there's guys that have been with our team for a couple of weeks now. Some of them a week, 4 days, whatever it's been, and they get a shot to come in and either start or be in a heavy rotation. Did you happen to see 3 safeties tonight? Because I thought that we were going to see some 3 safety looks tonight, and kind of go heavy at times. And I'm not sure that I did. I was trying to focus in on some other things, but quite honestly, I missed the whole 3DT thing. And so was there 5 guys on the line? Did we go with the five-man front, or was there only 4?
There were a few plays where we had 5 guys on the line.
Yeah.
It was basically 3-3. But instead of having that linebacker out wide, they had an extra defensive lineman in there.
Yeah.
So it was like a 5-2 kind of look, but you put a linebacker on the line, and you had JC kind of just behind the DTs there.
Yeah, so I love it because that's, when you look at the guys that we brought up this week, I think we brought in a couple of extra DTs as well. Who I was really impressed with, give me your thoughts on Tyrus Wheat Thins. That dude was playing incredibly well in the later stages of tonight. Like, what a good pickup. A guy that nobody knows about. You poach him off a practice squad, you insert him into the lineup, and tonight he's making some really good plays. But not to interrupt you, man.
He kind of looked like Muhammad last year when we picked him up off the Seahawks practice squad.
He's looking good. I'm liking that pickup.
Good. I'm kind of a little baffled with the offensive play calling.
Mm-hmm.
We just got guys running the same predictable routes every single game.
Yeah.
I tried to give Johnny Morton a chance here, but I don't see what he's bringing that Denver was doing last year to our team this year. At this point, I'm just like, it was Sean Payton's offense. It was Sean Payton's play calling, and he just got some credit for it. Because if you look at Denver, like, they're still doing what they were doing last year, and Johnny Morton's not there. Sean Payton still is.
Yeah.
Like, where's the explosiveness in this offense? Like, J-Mo had that really good run up the middle. The O-line did a great job. Put him in one-on-one with a linebacker that he just beat, and then one-on-one with the safety down the sideline that he just outran. But other than that, J-Mo got 3 targets today. One was called back for offensive PI. I didn't like that call at all. Sorry, excuse me.
No, I thought that play was terrible. That there was no offensive PI there. There was no push off. Like, the guy's body didn't change direction. But you said that J-Mo had a run?
No, Gibbs had the run.
Okay, Gibbs.
78-yard TD run.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I thought you said 30-yarder to J-Mo. I'm like, I really missed that one. Hold on one sec. So we got another caller calling in. Just do me a favor. When this caller hangs up, then the line will reopen. I don't have a way to hold you just yet. I'll figure that out at some point. But anyway, keep on going, Bees.
I don't understand how we're not using our other explosive players. Like, you got J-Mo, right? You got St. Brown. He's running the same 3 routes basically on every offensive snap if he's not run blocking. You got Sam Laporta running the same 2 routes if he's not run blocking. Like, why aren't these guys stretching the field? Why isn't Sam Laporta running a seam route? Why isn't St. Brown running any kind of corner route or inside deep post route? Like, this team is absolutely loaded with playmakers to where you can put the ball anywhere on the field at any given time and do what you want. And all we're seeing is curls, outs, and ins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to see more out of this offense, especially if we plan to go to the Super Bowl. Like, the offense is good and the playmakers are great, which makes this offense look good. But when you play top-end teams with great defenses or good defenses and you're running predictable routes, like, they're going to jump these routes. We're going to, like, the same thing that happened when we played Green Bay week 1. Jared Goff threw a pick to St. Brown. Dixon came down, crashed in on him, picked it off. Great read by Dixon. But it's the same thing that we're seeing week after week after week after week. We throw in a creativity splash play here and there, and we all get all excited, and that's great. I love it, but I want to see more of what these guys can do because we know they can do more. We've seen it last year and the year before that.
Yeah, so my biggest gripe with Johnny Moe right now is the fact that we're not utilizing what our bread and butter is, and that is those deep crossers, the deep square ends. They're not utilizing those, and that is our bread and butter. That is where Amon-Ra St. Brown does his biggest business. My biggest concern heading into tape review tomorrow night is going to be Sam Laporta. If you have this many guys on a Tampa defense that is rushing and blitzing, there's giant holes all over the center of that defense. Why are we not exposing it? Why are we not putting guys into a position like you're saying to, you get the ball. I don't care if it's 7-8 yards downfield, if it's over the middle of the defense behind the middle linebacker. Levante David went out early, right? And so if Levante David's out, that you should expose that. Use that against them. Use their aggressiveness against them. And it just seemed like we didn't. We just continued to try to pound the rock. Wouldn't work. 7 for 21. Jahmyr Gibbs, before he has anything big, he was 7 to 21. But we kept pounding the rock. Yeah, he ended up getting one. But we were not doing anything over the middle. Too many 3-and-outs tonight. Just way too many. If I were to review, the play-by-play, I'll go back to the very beginning. It was, the touchdown on 6 plays and 69 yards, and then a fumble, and then downs, get all the way down, at the inside the red zone. You turn it over on downs, and then it's a 4-play punt, and then a 4-play touchdown, and then a 3-play punt, and then a 4-play missed field goal, and then a 5-play interception. Stupid pass by Jared Goff, and then a 7-play touchdown, and then a 10-play punt. You can't be punting on 10 plays. You just can't do it. And then a 4-play field goal, a 3-play punt, and then another 3-play punt for our last drive of the game. Just way too much. 256 yards of punting by Fox.
Well, we had 300 yards of offense before, with like 45 seconds left in the first half. We had 300 yards of offense because I went back and I looked at the statistics. Then Smith got a big sack on Goff on a late blitz. He got home, got him. The pick Goff threw was a cover 6 defense. That was all Jamal Dean. He was supposed to cover the underneath route, and he was, and then he kind of drifted back to make sure he could cover anything behind him. And just so happened that that's where Goff was going with the ball, and he was in the perfect position. So Jamal Dean had a great pick there. Just good defensive awareness by him. Because there was a man underneath of him, but once he realized that wasn't going to be the target, he started drifting back a little bit. So he made a great defensive play. I can't really fault Goff on that, but
the reason why I fault
you got to read the defense.
Yeah, but the reason why I'd faulted Goff on that is because Jamal Dean was just sitting there wide open. It's not like he wasn't hidden behind anyone. He was in front. He was in front of that route, and Jared tried to tuck a ball between Jamal Dean and whoever was over top of him, and I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown sliding towards the sideline. I mean, that is almost an impossible pass to make, but he didn't even put enough mustard on that ball to get there. So
but Jamal Dean kind of drifted back very slowly. He drifted back slowly for about 8 yards or so, and he put himself in prime position to just make a jump catch.
Yeah.
But the offense had 300 yards by the first half, and then we were in control of that game the entire time. Like, I think they had 5 attempts on 4th down in one drive. Like, that's how well our defense was playing. Kept forcing these 3rd and 4th down situations. Ali McNeil was a wrecking ball in the middle of that D-line or O-line, and he was causing them all kinds of problems. Baker Mayfield constantly had to step right or left to get out of the middle of that pocket to make any kind of throw downfield. And that's primarily what you want to see from your defense.
Yeah, anytime you get a quarterback off of his spot like that, I mean, that would explain a little bit more as to why Baker Mayfield was spraying the ball. I mean, he did not look like Baker Mayfield of the first 6 weeks tonight. He was, I mean, the ball was so off. To wide open receivers, it was high, it was right, it was left, it was short, it was anywhere but on. When he connected. But Ali McNeil, knifing through that offensive line and being able to get Baker to at least make a step or pivot, and that's when the ball is going to get launched at the wrong angle. So before we wrap up here, give me your I guess players of the game, offense, defense. Who would you give it to?
Defensively, I give it to two players. I give it to Aleem McNeil and I give it to Amik Robinson. He played a hell of a game. He stepped up and he showed leadership and control in that DB room to kind of help keep those guys glued in to their assignment.
Yeah.
Offensively, I don't really know where to go with that. I think Tate Ratledge, although he had a couple bad plays, he played really, really well. Same thing with Christian Mahogany. I think they kind of maintained control over Villaveda and helped keep him out of the backfield, which we know Villaveda is a monster. And
yeah, he's a problem.
I
mean, obviously
Gibbs
at
any given time.
I mean, Gibbs had a huge night. I mean, he was my game ball. He had a massive night. 136 on the ground, 82 in the air. Big night for him.
I also, before you let me go here, I also want to wish Mike Evans well wishes and get better soon, buds. That was a hell of a tough situation you got put in, and you made a great attempt at a diving catch, and you just landed oddly, and it's very unfortunate. You broke your collarbone, and you're out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that sucks, man. You hate to see that happen to a player like Mike Evans, man. He's so fun to watch. He's going to go down as one of the best ever. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And who knows if this is his last season or not. I don't know if he's been flirting with retirement. But thanks, Rob, for calling in, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a great night, man.
You too, brother.
Look
Take
forward
care.
to listening to the rest of the show.
All right, man. All right, phone line's open. And, man, you heard him. Great play by everybody, really. Jared Goff made some boneheaded moves, but I'm going to defer to the tape. Rob made me think of something different here. I'm going to have to go back and give some credit to Jamel Dean if he drifted back the way that he explained it. That's just a headsy play by Jamel Dean to know where that ball was going. But there's something that he mentioned that has been a consistent problem, and that has been the same looks, the same routes. There's nothing unique going on. It's not like we're even trying to trick people into what we're doing. And that's a bit concerning because when we get into the meat of this schedule, which is coming up, we've got the Rams. We have the Eagles. Even though the Eagles look like a wounded eagle right now, they're still the Eagles. And they can come out and play any day and bully you around if they want to. They have Saquon Barkley, one of the toughest to stop. They have Jalen Hurts. It is going to be the toughest run situation that we're ever going to be against this season is right there. So I want to see something different soon. All right, we got a new caller on the line. This is Will with Rockhound Detroit Lions. Who are you?
This is John Duchet.
John, how are you, man? Good to have you call in. How are you?
Not bad, man. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So what's on your mind, man? How'd the game go? I'm tired.
Oh, I bet, dude. I can't sleep right now. My heart's still pounding. Game went great.
So what are your biggest takeaways out of the game tonight?
Calvin Shepard, man. I'm just impressed with his defense, man. I couldn't believe it. I thought this game was going to be a shootout, and I couldn't believe how well our defense played.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either, man. I really think that they put a really good game plan in tonight. Calvin Shepard did, and this is the game plan that I want to see going forward. I don't care what team I mean, I know you have to have a different game plan for every team, but the way that they played tonight was just something we've been looking for from this defense. We know that we have the guys to play, and it's been since week 3 since we've seen them show up like this. Anyway, you called in, so you take it away, man. You tell me what's on your mind.
I feel like if everybody was expecting a shootout in this game, and I was like, I was too. I lost a lot of money on this game. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was closer, but like I just couldn't believe like how bad Baker was today. Like I have him on my fantasy team. I wanted him to ball out, but like I couldn't believe. Like I think he would have threw three picks today if Kirby was in the game. A lot of those overthrows are Kirby balls. Those are all Kirby, and yeah, I was just impressed by how good this defense played. Amik Robinson is a dog. He's a dog. If we lose him, I'd feel really not healthy about our defense because that guy comes and plays with guts. And Jahmyr Gibbs was just unbelievable.
Well, I'm hoping that we get Amik to get on the show at some point. He is one of my favorite Lions right now, and I am begging Brad Holmes to get this dude a new contract because he's a glue guy. Like it's not that he's just a glue guy. Like he's a starter that is sitting behind Terry and Arnold and DJ Reed when they're healthy. At this point, I don't mind. Like I like Terry and Arnold. I think that he's playing okay. I know he could be playing a lot better, but you can't keep Amik off the field. You can't.
I mean, he's making it hard to keep him off the field, and like. Even like if you have to run more nickel just to keep him on the field, keep him on. He tackles. He's gritty. He'll get his nose dirty. But like, I have like I'm not a Terry and Arnold hater. I'm a big supporter in Terry and Arnold. But Amik is just he's really out. He's been showing up this year so far.
Yeah, he showed up big time.
I think he deserved to start.
Yeah, we got another caller calling in. Hey, when he gets off no, John, you can stay on. When John gets off, just call in. When each caller hangs up, you can call in. I just don't have a way to hold calls just yet. So call back in just a moment when you get a sec. So yeah, John, the thing about Amik, man, is so I've got some raw video of him from yesterday when he was hanging out with Eric and Eric. So Eric got his dash signed on his Lions truck. Amik was at Pro Sports Zone.
So
and
cool.
Yeah. And so like just Amik is like, I mean, like I said it earlier during the live stream that he's like that brother that you wish that you had because he's just so cool, calm, collected, giant smile. Like it's the Zadarius Smith type smile. You know what I mean? That just, you just love the dude. You love what he's all about, and he's all heart, he's all grit, he's all the time, and he just does not give up. So
he's the definition of a Dan Campbell player. Like he's the definition. Like,
1,000%.
When we asked him to man up with Justin Jefferson against the Vikings for the division, and he balled out. And now we're asking him to pretty much man the secondary with a bunch of guys that who knows. We had a guy from Saginaw Valley there. Like you can't make a better script for this team right now. This team I feel they're destined to win, and I feel like they got a lot of players just like their coach, and they're all bought in right now. And it shows. Defensively, it shows. Offensively, they have some more room to grow. I think Taylor Decker kind of disappointed a little bit today, but everybody disappoints against the Bucs, man. They blitz a lot. Like they're not an easy team to run on. They're not an easy team to throw on. And Jahmyr exposed, he broke that long run against the blitz. And that's what happens when you get blitz. You get burned, and thank God it happened for us. So, I mean, I just was calling to say, go Lions, screw everybody else, and Jared Goff MVP.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for calling, John. Appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
Take care, brother.
You too.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
John been around a long time, man. John's been one of the original OGs, very beginning of this channel. All right, line is back open. I know that I fail. Like I need to get a way to hold calls, and it says that I can hold the call, but honestly, I don't know where it's going to go, and then I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you back. So I'll just defer to get something handled this week. I'll do my best, but I'll leave the phone line open here a little bit longer. So good things, man. Like John just said, like Amik, is just, he's a big part of this team. He's a huge part of this team. And exact example of what a Dan Campbell guy is. And I had my book up here earlier. I'll use it for tomorrow morning. All right, now we got another caller on. Somebody beat you. The 248 number was calling a minute ago. It's a different number. All right, Rockhound Detroit Lions. Who do I got on the line?
Hey, this is Shane.
Say that one more time.
This is Shane.
Shane, what's happening? Could you turn the background noise off a little bit?
Yeah, sorry. I just had you. I had you live there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now, Shane. So what's happening, man? Lions win tonight. Big win.
not
What's your
much.
thoughts?
Dude, fun win. So we're here in New York City. We were watching at one of the big Lions bars that we've got out here. I think my thoughts are big statement win, right? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It felt like the Shepherd's block really came out in full effect. That was a cool thing that we noticed. I mean, I've got to be honest. So I haven't seen much of your show. I learned a lot of new people tonight is what I felt like. Did you feel like there were people on the defense that you hadn't heard of before that what a cool, turning out? Like Yalston, didn't know him. Might get his jersey. You know what I mean? That was awesome.
Yeah. So look, because I do this each and every day, I know who these guys are. I didn't know a lot of them before. Rock Ya-Sin, of course, I know. Kendall Fuller, but Mollett, no. Eric Hallett, he's new. Whiteside,
plays, right?
Yeah. So I mean, there's some guys that we don't know of that joined this squad. And all I got to do is say, hey, Brad, congratulations, dude. You hit the nail on the head once again, because he keeps bringing in guys that nobody knows, and these guys get into the game and they're making plays, and that's why I'll never discredit a guy that doesn't get a lot of snaps. Tyrus Wheat is one of them, right? He didn't get a lot of snaps, was on a practice squad. Brad picks him up. He's making big plays tonight.
Right.
Same thing with Tyler Lacey last week, making big plays. And here again tonight, you got 5 new guys on your defensive secondary. Every single one of them stood up tonight and made plays.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I definitely echo what you were saying about Amik too. I mean, obviously, have loved him since a couple of games that I saw, but obviously, most notably, Week 17 against the Vikings last year, shutting down JJF. Very cool. Very cool. Great player. Way for him to do it. I got to ask you a hard-hitting question. You ready?
Say that again?
I have to ask you a hard-hitting question. You ready?
You can try. All right.
Taylor Decker. What's going on? Is he in the Honolulu Blue next year?
I don't know. I'm considering the fact that he might hang it up. I mean, if the injuries continue to mount up for him. I heard a rumor tonight that he hurt his shoulder again tonight.
I didn't hear that. I wasn't there. I don't know. I was just watching some TV.
No, I got you. But I could have sworn someone either texted me or it flashed across Twitter that Taylor Decker might have re-injured his shoulder or aggravated it or something. I don't know if it's legit, but I mean, look, he's played a lot in this league, and he's now at the time of his career where he's got a full-fledged family. He's made a ton of money, and the Lions can actually walk away from his contract next year, really not owing him anything and saving about $19 million. And this might be the peaceful parting of ways. Ragnow left this year. Decker might leave next year. And Brad Holmes is going to have to go out and get us a new left tackle, which I think it's time anyway to bring somebody in with a very early pick. So to answer the question, yeah, this is probably his last season. And not because he can't play, because he was playing at a top 8 left tackle rate before he got injured.
Right. Okay.
So he's been playing pretty well, man. I like Decker. I know that he's had his moments, but there comes a time and place when everyone has to walk away.
I get that. How'd you feel about Goff's mobility this week? Kind of felt like he was moving a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like a little more than I've seen him out of the pocket. There were a couple where obviously got away from him. That happens. There were a couple of times I felt like, I'm not going to say he looked like Rodgers, but he was moving a little more than maybe I've seen him in the past when he gets collapsed on.
Yeah, so there's times that Goff has his moments. Like he gets really comfortable on his spot, And then there's games like against the Ravens where, I mean, he was navigating that pocket so incredibly well. If you go back and watch the Ravens game this year, I've never seen Goff move that well. I mean, it looked like whoever injects the Tin Man injected Goff that game because he was moving. I like Goff when he's getting out on these naked, rollouts or naked boots and rollouts. That's when I feel like he passes the best. Crisp, on target. When he's moving, that ball's almost thrown pinpoint every single time. And that's what I was expecting tonight. I wanted to see him get out of the pocket, roll out, help stretch the field, right? Close down the left side of the field. And we didn't do it enough. And that's, again, I'm going to put that knock on John Morton. So I'm going to ask you the hard-hitting question. What do you think about John Morton's play calling so far?
It's funny. I'm glad that you reminded me of John Morton's name because I'm loving Shepard. And we're sitting here and I'm talking to my lines buddies. And we know John, but we're having such a hard time. We're kind of getting confused with number 87 back in the day, Johnny Morton. When we're thinking about him a little bit. Right? You like that? Thank you. We think, look, it's very hard to replace a guy like Ben Johnson. So I'll just give him, I'll pay him his respects. That's fine. I think John's figuring it out. I like that Dan kind of went back to like a situation where he goes, okay, look, I know I have a very high power offense. Like I've got a loaded gun fully in all aspects of the game. So I need somebody who can control it a little bit. So he brought in a guy that he can trust, a guy who can kind of call the game in the way that, maybe I'm not seeing it exactly right, but the way that I'm kind of thinking that this is going is he's calling plays, he's calling schemes, he's seeing what he sees, and he's relaying it down to like arguably the best game manager in the NFL right now, Jared Goff. So he's giving Jared what I would think is a lot of flexibility. And because of that, you have to put a lot of trust in a quarterback who can read things, see things, make calls on the fly. I don't know if that's always working. I think maybe, you need a little more guidance. Maybe it's a 50-50 right now. Maybe it needs to be a little more like 70-30. We need a little more from John. I think maybe John's probably figuring it out too. He's going, wow, I do have like all of these high firing athletes. I haven't seen as much out of Laporta as I wanted to this year. I love that J-Mo is blocking as well as he is, but, and not from a fantasy perspective, but to put it in this regard, I can't have a guy who's doing like 4 or 24 only. Like we gave him a couple of looks this week, but if you're going to have a streak athlete like that, in my mind, you got to use him a little more. You got to punish some defenses. You got to take advantage of a young talent while you have that. Look, I don't know as much about John's job as he does, so I am in no spot to say how I think he should be doing it. I don't think we need to get more cute. I would like a little more explosiveness, but I don't want to sacrifice good gameplay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I feel, and thanks for the call, man. And best wishes up there in New York. And hopefully you call in next time, Shane.
Yeah, shout out Bailey's Corner Pub, 85th.
All right, Bailey's Corner Pub. There you go.
Go Lions, baby. Thanks for the show.
Thanks, Shane. You take care, man. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
So for me, it's like this. I think John Morton's being safe. I think that's the best word I can come up with right now is safe. If we go back and look at a few games this year, the Ravens was a good game. The Bears was the best game. Like, what happened since the Bears game? Where did the offense go? Why are we not as explosive? Is it really what the defenses are doing against us that's limiting us? What is it? Why is J-Mo stuck in the mud? Why is he not able to release, off of, is he getting bracketed all the time? I don't think so. And if he is, that means somebody's open. If you're bracketing someone has to be open. So then I guess I would put that on Goff, that maybe he's not seeing the field as quickly. But I think that John Morton is being safe. And I don't like the vanilla offense. And I can't be this conceited about a team and say, okay, we're just saving it for the next game. We're just saving it for the Vikings. We're just saving it for the Rams. We're saving it. There's only so many games you can save it for. right? We're into week 7. You should have almost seen everything by now. And either we emptied the tank in week 2 against the Bears because that just had to be the game that we couldn't lose and we wanted to win big. And then we re-emptied the tank again after we filled up on week hold on, I just lost my whole train of thought. So it was the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens, week 3. Did we empty the tank both weeks and now we've seen it all and so we're going back to this whatever this is? And again, this is why I love watching the film and watching, the game back, because it'll open up my eyes to seeing what exactly is going on. And to echo what Shane just said, look, I don't know John Morton's job as well as he does. We don't know what they're doing on every play or what they're calling on every play. What I do hear, though, is I hear a lot of kill, 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 which means they're switching up the play. And if they're switching up the play, that's Jared Goff seeing it. And if Jared Goff is changing the play and it's successful, that's good news, right? If he's changing up the play and it's unsuccessful, that's a problem. Now, typically, there's 2 or 3 plays that are called on every play. So Jared knows what he's going to go to and what's allowable, what's not. But you heard, or if you didn't hear, Dan Campbell said that Jared Goff at some point is going to be able to manage this offense by himself. And at some point, Jack Campbell's going to be able to manage this defense by himself. And so the more and more I think that we go through this season and next season, Jared Goff is just going to have a lot more leash to be able to do what he wants. And quite honestly, I would trust Jared Goff more than anybody to call the right play. He's been doing this style of an offense for a long time. It's just totally different right now. What we saw in week 2 was Ben Johnson all over again. That's what we saw in week 2. It was almost a mirror image of what offense we called when Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator. So I'm going to go back to something I said in the very beginning of the season. John Morton up in the box could be a problem. The reason why I say that, now I'm not saying that because we're winning games. That's great. We've only got 2 losses. Great. But have we really had the best games we possibly could with this style of an offense, the offensive weapons that we do have? Are we really playing or maximizing the offense to its fullest extent? I don't think so. And even though John Morton up in the box, after I say that, week 2, you put a 50 burger on the Bears, and then week 3, you go in and pound the Ravens, and then, you're averaging 42 points a game through like the first 4 weeks of the season, or 5 weeks of the season. You beat up a Bengals team that was extremely bad. What are we going to do when we play the really good teams? Right? Tonight we saw a really good defense, but we didn't see an offense because they were injured. Injury is not an excuse. But let's just be honest. If Evans was healthy and if Emeka Egbuka was healthy, I think it's a different game. Because their defense did enough. They kept us under 30 points. That should be pretty tough to do. All right, last phone call of the night. Well, thank you for calling Rockhound Detroit Lions. Who do I got on the line?
Hey, this is your buddy Steve.
Steve, what's happening, Steve?
What's happening?
So you watched the game tonight, obviously. What's that?
That's a good game tonight.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah. But, like, when you were sitting there saying the things like, why doesn't J-Mo get the ball more and other players and, like, Laporta and whatever, well, the thing is, I can actually clarify something on that. If you remember the Super Bowl, the Seahawks and Patriots, everybody knows really Marshawn Lynch should have got the ball. Why didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. And now think about it, Will. Put this in perspective. I want you guys to acknowledge and realize, I mean, it was plain and simple. Seattle was not supposed to win the Super Bowl, bar none. a lot of these people feel like this whole concept of the football of, Brady uses a deflated football, whatever. Well, you know what people don't know is each team has their own footballs. They use their own balls. They don't use the same ball and whatever. Okay? They don't do that.
Yeah.
Hell, Rodgers, I believe I read, he has his footballs pumped up to 16 pounds. I believe I read. And see, there's so many things out there. Now, let me give you another tidbit on something. There's this one thing, fans, as a fan, like I said, I love football as much as you guys do, as you can see. If you guys go out and do some research, there was a time when Jalen Ramsey, when he played for the Jaguars, okay, I saw it on YouTube. He got fined and suspended because it was the game where they played the Patriots, they were winning, they lost, and he said that they were told to lose the game. And now, how true it is?
Wait. You're telling me that Jalen Ramsey said that they were told to lose the game?
I saw it on YouTube, bro. I saw it on YouTube.
That doesn't mean that it's real.
Well, the thing is, I'm just saying it. You got to put it into a complex thing, though. If he's saying this, and the way the things are being shaped up with these refs, because there was another thing. There was a game I remember, the Packers versus the Steelers. Matt Flynn was the quarterback for the Packers because Rodgers was hurt. Now, like you said, is any of this true? Okay, maybe you're right, but I'm just if you have to put the league and things in perspective here. It was 10 seconds left on the clock. Green Bay was down inside the 5-10 yard line. Now, the Packers offensive line, I remember the game. I remember the official running up into the middle, and the 5 offensive line that says when the clock was ticking down, they sit there and said the ref told them, don't snap the ball yet. And I'm like, what? And this is just something, well, like I said, everybody's blaming refs. Everybody's blaming, the league and why this is like what happened last week with you guys. This is what's happening, like I said. There's a lot of conspiracy shit out there. Yes, there is.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it just makes, but the thing is, it's being put out there. It's not like, oh, I'm just sitting here making this shit up. I've seen it, I've watched it, I've heard it. And it makes me sit and think, okay, what's going on here?
So, okay, let me go back to the initial statement though, when you said that I said, why am I not seeing JMO enough? So how does that fit with JMO and what's going on right now? So how are you meshing the two together?
Well, see, the thing is, like, I look at the Packers, okay, like with my team. Same thing with JMO. I think with the games, there's plays are scripted for players. Because, I wish I could come to your house right now. If I could, I would sit down with you. I would pop on your television, on your computer, on YouTube, and I can show you things that you'd be like, what the, whatever. And it's crazy. I apologize. Like I said, all this conspiracy shit and everything out there, but it's being brought out. A lot of this stuff is being brought out.
Yeah, it is being brought out. Matter of fact, you're gonna love the new channel that's coming because the people spoke. I did 2 videos last week that earned me over 1,500 subscribers and was a massive hit, over 100,000 views, which is pretty tough to do in this little niche market of doing Detroit Lions. So it spoke to me, and a lot of people, all the comments that I went through, the thousands of comments, said that we need more. And I said, okay, but I can't just do conspiracy stuff or on this channel. So I am going to do more of it. I have another channel that's just sitting, that's monetized, that I haven't done anything with. And so I am going to dive into that. But what I will tell you is you don't need to come to my house to show me anything. We can jump in a live stream. We can jump in a shared screen, and we can watch stuff anytime you want to show me anything.
Okay. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to say.
But I get what you're saying. But here's what I want to get from you, Steve, because then I gotta jump off. is how do you think the game went down tonight? You're a Packer fan, so by seeing what the Lions did tonight in John Morton's offense, do you feel like he's doing enough with the talent that he has right now? It's been a common theme tonight. It's been all throughout the chat tonight. Do you think he's doing enough?
No, if the talent that's on that team, like I said, with that big run Gibbs did, that was big. That was big. If that didn't happen, if he didn't break that, I mean, you guys put up the yardage, whatever, and still the score was close. If those big plays didn't happen, you guys should have really mollywopped this team the way this happened.
Yes, we should have.
I mean, that's the way and see, this is what I'm just trying to say. But no, there wasn't enough there. There wasn't enough there. Like I said, if Gibbs God, kid's fast as hell. If he didn't break that big thing and all this other stuff, and like you said, but that throw, that interception, I was laughing when you said, what was he doing? Why did he throw that? Well, now you might hate me for this, but the thing is, me, when I look at that is supposed to happen. That's part of the game. To me, that is just a part of the game.
You're fully bought into this whole conspiracy thing.
Well, I apologize, but I've seen way too much over the years. I'm 52 years old, and when I started seeing things happen, and like, I mean, to all of you guys in there, I apologize. But if you guys would see what I have seen, then you might be like, you know what? Maybe Steve was right. If you have seen and heard what I have seen and heard over the years, that might just be the thing. You guys have not seen and heard what I've seen and heard over the years. I mean, I don't want to disrespect your show. This is a good show. This is a good podcast. Good people in here. I apologize. But as true fans, you guys ask the questions, why isn't James, or why is this happen? Why does that happen? I just wish, really, to be truthful, that a lot of these fans would see really what's going on behind, like wrestling. Because like I said, the refs can call any plays, any penalties they want because it's sports entertainment. It was in a court order. That's the name of the game. I mean, I don't want to disrespect. I love the sport of football. I love every sport. And it's not just in football. It's in every NBA is the worst. NBA is the worst.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Steve, let's do this. I'm gonna when I start this other channel, let's get you in there and you can tell us about all these stories. It sounds like you have a lot of them. I'm just scratching the surface on Roger Goodell right now. I do believe that there's some things going on with the refs. I think that it's more than just, haphazard mistakes. Tonight, I think that they got it right. I think that they played a pretty good game. And tonight, I'm going to give Tampa their credit, and I'm going to say that they played a pretty damn good defense against the Lions tonight. And I believe that, we should have put more points on the board. Yeah, I think Morton is getting too vanilla. And I want him to open it up a little bit more. But as far as Goff intentionally throwing a TD, or throwing an interception, I don't know if that's something I could buy yet.
Well, I have two friends here in town here that are football fans. My friend John and friend Randy. One's a 49ers fan and one's a Kansas City fan, and they don't really buy into what I'm saying. But
but I guess
I'm not making it up.
No, Steve. I guess Steve. What I'm saying is, we'll have to talk about it a different day. Because I gotta get rolling. It's almost midnight, and I gotta get up at 5:30. So, but I love the conversation. I want to have the conversation. I do. I want to do it when I have an opportunity to do it in a manner that we can really talk about it.
Okay, and I'll let you know one thing before we go. If you want to know about the newer helmets, what's going on, there's videos out about that. You might like what you're going to see, what they're doing with the helmets.
Oh, yeah, I seen you put something in there. I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look that up too.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. You have a good night.
All right, man. You too.
See ya.
Yep.
Steve, the Packer fan. I love a good conspiracy. I absolutely do. I watch the crypto stuff, the Bigfoot stuff. Like, I got all sorts of things that I can talk about when this new channel opens up. But yeah, you guys spoke to me, man. You told me what you wanted to hear and what you wanted to see, and And this is great. Talking about Lions doing Lions, I'll never stop doing it. But the other side of this, the other things that all the fans are talking about is they want more. But they want real good investigative research, and I think I can provide some of that. All right, so to wrap up tonight, did John Morton do enough? I think he did enough to win tonight. I mean, anytime you put up almost, 400 yards of total offense, not including, special teams, 241 from Goff, 164 on the ground. I guess that's more than 400. That's 405. So 405 yards of offense between, passing and rushing. It's a great night, right? It's a great night. I just feel like there's a little bit more to be had here. And any time that I see a $27 million receiver going 0 for 0 on 2 targets, I have a problem. I'm sorry. I have a problem with it. Here's my problem. When he actually starts collecting that paycheck, $27 million divided by 17 games in a season is $1.6 million per game. Remember, they get paid in season per game. They don't get paid any other time throughout the season. They get paid a little bit for going to the training camp, right? And preseason games, and then they get the bulk of their money in the season. So $1.6 million. Well, you just paid Jameson Williams $1.6 million tonight for 0 catches, 0 yards, and 2 targets. $1.6 million for that. Now I get it. He's blocking downfield, so you paid him $1.6 million to block tonight. That's a lot of money to pay someone to block. Do you know how much you could pay a left tackle right now to block for Jared Goff? $27 million. Would be one of the highest paid left tackles in the game. Just saying. If you want a blocker, go get a blocker. But you got J-Mo. Use them. Please, use them. Figure out a way to use them. Now, tonight, yeah, did I expect that this game was going to be a little bit different? Yes. Did I want to see Jahmyr Gibbs in the screen game? I absolutely did. Did I want to see the tight ends getting involved? Yes, I did. But at no way did I ever think that J-Mo wouldn't do anything tonight. And then you would go away from him. Like after that one catch was nullified by the penalty, I mean, that just didn't sit well. That was a terrible, terrible penalty. It wasn't J-Mo. It was definitely not a penalty. Now, we won the game. There's nothing to complain about. But as I do on this channel, we talk about everything and everything. We don't leave any stone unturned. And I would say overall, this was a phenomenal team win. This was a must-win game. John Morton did enough tonight, but I don't want to see this trend continue after the bye week. I want to see J-Mo get involved and be the second part of this receiving core of him and St. Brown that we're expecting him to be. And we know what kind of player he is. So it's time to, what they say, kind of get off the schneid a little bit, or Morton's got to get him involved in running some different routes. And there's been a lot of people that have spoken about it, people that have called in, or people that have, left their comments. It's too vanilla. The routes they're too consistent. And if you're not going to throw anything out of defense that is different, then they're going to shut you down. They're going to figure out a way to do it. This is the NFL. So 256 yards of punting tonight against a Tampa team that was fairly beat up, and a team that, you started pretty hot. You're able to work. I mean, just start from the very beginning. Okay, to start, you had one incompletion. Now, they started exactly the way I wanted them to tonight, which was passing the football. Matter of fact, I think I just got into that when the game started, and I didn't know the game was started yet. I said I wanted to see him passing the football. Don't even try to get the third down, right? Pass the ball. Second down, you have to be getting the first down. Stay out of third downs. We pass the ball, it goes incomplete. We pass the ball on second down, 30 yards to Gibbs. Right? The next play, first down is a 2-yard run, a 2-yard run, a third down incompletion, and then another run. but there was illegal contact on the incompletion, so we got a first down, right? Then you go to a 3-yard run, and then a 27-yard touchdown pass. So the 27-yard touchdown pass excites the hell out of me because that tells me that we're not trying to get into the red zone, which was one of my keys of the game tonight. Do not allow yourself to get into the red zone with Tampa. You get into the red zone with Tampa, they're going to squeeze you, and they're going to make your life very difficult. The deeper you get into the red zone against Tampa, the stronger they get, the harder it is to score on them. So that was a wise move by John Morton to dial up that pass to St. Brown. And then on one of our next touchdowns, which was not until the end of the second quarter, it was a 78-yard touchdown run. Right, thankfully. And that was a good point, right? Had we not broke that run, had Jahmyr Gibbs not scored on that touchdown, this is a much different game. You're talking about going into the second half or into halftime. Let's see, where were we? There was 5:51 left in the second. Wow, this can't be. Yeah, 5:51. They had a fumble. That's why it flipped so many times. Then an interception. So 5:51 in the second, and they punt. We get the ball back. We punt. They get the ball. They fumble. We get the ball. We get a missed field goal. Again, points off turnovers tonight. Pathetic. All right, we get a fumble, missed field goal. We get an interception. We throw an interception. Can't do that. Absolutely cannot do that. They score a field goal off of our interception, so they turned it into points. Our next touchdown in the third quarter was a 5-yard touchdown run, but it was a 28-yard pass, right? So you're, at the 32-yard line, I think, 33, and you're trying to go to the end zone, right? You're trying to, but it was a short pass to Gibbs. They got you there. We didn't throw it deep. We threw it short. We need to see the ball going in the air, and we're not. We're just the explosives. Even though the stats say we have the explosives, they're kind of missing right now. So we need more. Yeah, bees. I love that. How Gibby didn't need oxygen. I thought that was hilarious. They brought oxygen to him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." He didn't even break a sweat. Gibbs is different, man. That dude has got his lungs need to be examined. Like, you remember how Barry Sanders, how they tried to do all these exams on Barry Sanders' ankles back in the day because they said, how is it possible that he could change direction like that and then hit, full speed immediately? And what I remember this vividly, I was really young when this came out, probably in my early teens. It had to be early teens, like 93, 92, 91, somewhere in that range. That they said that Barry Sanders' ankles were both double jointed. And that's why he could lay his ankle flat and it not break. If you didn't know, now you know, right? I remember that as a kid. Now I'm going to have to go and Google it to make sure it was a fact, but that's what I remember as a kid. I don't think I would make something up like that or anything, really. Mike Fisher says, someone not knowing the circumstances would think that the Lions secondary was a top tier unit. That's facts right there. If you had no idea who the Detroit Lions were, and then you went and seen their play tonight, you would think that they were something different. Absolutely. Matter of fact, you know what we missed? Hold on. You know what we missed? Because I usually do this in the morning. Let's see if they got it in here. Nope, don't see it yet. I was looking for the post-game celebration. Anybody see that yet? I don't see it. I don't see it up anyway. Oh, well. I'll save that for the morning. It is after midnight. I got to get up in 5.5 hours, and I had coffee, which means it might take me a minute to roll my eyes to sleep. You guys have been great. Again, I appreciate it if you would try to subscribe on the way out of the channel. We need to hit 12K. We are like 60 away, and would greatly appreciate you guys being part of the channel. Future shows are going to be subscriber mode only to get rid of the bots. So far tonight, the post-game show has been pretty tame. I don't think I put it on subscriber mode. I might have. But the live stream tonight, we did pretty good. It was our better live stream of the year so far, but we're still 100 short. So we need to get more people in. Tell a friend. I don't care. Tell a foe. Get them all in here. Let's have some fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the Rise of Grind morning show. We got a bye week, which means I'm going to take a bye week a little bit. I've got to take a couple of days to myself to get things reorganized, but we're going to try to put together the rest of Volume 2 of Roger Goodell this week and hopefully have it ready by this weekend. And we'll premiere it, and we'll see where it goes. But you're a big part of that, so I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, Honolulu Blue Brew is back and available. You can visit buymeacoffee.com/rockdown. That's www.buymeacoffee.com/rockdown. All the proceeds go to Rockdown Cancer Foundation. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's help others first, and you guys can be a big part of that. We'll see you guys in the morning. Go and probably go Detroit Lions. Good win tonight. Lions take down the Bucs 24-9. And we're going to continue to celebrate in the morning. I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Meek Robinson.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.